Thank you for staying with us. It's your favorite news and current affairs program, a journalist Hangout, and I still have Asukwo James in the studio and Dotun. Okay, the political debacle between the federal government and the federating units over the disputed $418 million Paris Club refund fees is still in the offing. The Nigerian Governors Forum has accused the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Malami, of lying about the true state of things and having personal interest in the controversial refund to consultants. I've been following this $418 million to be paid a consultant to, and when they started it all, everybody knew about it. For Mr. President to even order the payment and everything, after back and forth. But when you look at the figure, it's quite discouraging. But the problem there is that, did they render this service to us? What is this $418 million to be paid to a consultant?
Well, there are so many of them who said they are consultants, or they were consultants. But maybe some insights into all of this will help a little. This Paris Club refund we are talking about in 2021 was as a result of the debt relief that former President Olusegun Obasanjo got for the country. So, if you have such huge amounts as debt relief, and it has come to the federal government for the states and local governments to get. The big question is, what happened that we have to bring in some other people who have called themselves negotiators or intermediaries between or among these federating units? That's the federal government on one side and the states and local governments on the other side. The point might be made by the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, that indeed these people did something.
Secure their services.
The question is, do we need these intermediaries to get this money out, get it shared and given to the states and local governments, to the extent that even the Department of State Services, that should be solely concerned with issue of security, has even gone to, according to them, to confirm for one of the companies if they actually did what they were supposed to do. So some of these things, one is confused.
Okay, the DSS confirmed that they actually did it.
No, that one of the companies executed one of the projects up to 50%. So you ask,
what did they do?
What did they do? What is the business of the DSS, for instance, in this? Now, the issue has also been raised by the Nigerian Governors Forum. Whose interests is Malami protecting? Is it that of the government or the contractors? Because where you have a seeming disagreement between a government and contractors, and these contractors did not take the states and local governments to court, but the federal government. And in one of the cases, even the judge lambasted the office of the Attorney General of the Federation for not pursuing the cases properly. And that was one of the reasons that the federal government lost this case. So you ask yourself, like the NGF said, which I've also queried, why are we so fast in paying these debts? Aren't there older judgment debts than this? Whose interest is the government protecting? Because it's strange. If you go by today's exchange rates, $418 million is a lot of money. There is a Nedunwoko on that list, $142 million. There is Ryok Nigeria Limited, another $142 million. There are two companies that were said to have worked for Ryok, but the federal government is now going to pay them instead of Ryok. And both of them, we are looking at about $1.5 million. There is another seg of about 100. So it's just like that. How do we run a country like that?
I don't know, but these guys actually rendered the services. And what did we go into a formal agreement with them? And who went into this agreement with them? And how come the governors and the local governments, how come, that the people that they worked for did not carry these people along? So what's the bone of contention right now?
I think
was there a formal agreement?
I think because I've read the two statements, especially the one that was hurriedly put together by the AGF, Media Aid, and the one from the Nigeria Governors Forum. First, I think it was very, very wrong for the AGF to have quickly, hurriedly, bring out a statement, like that, because it was like, does he have an interest in this matter? And even when he was trying to, find a way out of it, the Nigeria Governors Forum said no. And just like you said, we are even trying to look for money for us to even carry out so many projects. And $418 million is not a small money at all, Ayo.
To pay as consultancy fee.
To be paid to individuals.
And companies that they own.
Yes. And those individuals own these companies. So it's like we are double paying. You first pay one person, then the person's company, you need to also pay the person. You understand? So if you now look at it, the whole thing looks as if it's shady. And just like we say, or we have been saying, who actually signed these guys to become negotiators for us? Was it the former Attorney General, or is it this Attorney General of the Federation that actually said, okay, fine, go and bring out this money? Don't forget, this Paris Club was since 2005.
We are not talking of them bringing out the money. We are talking of sharing
the money.
The money to the states and local governments. It's not about bringing. Obasanjo did this job.
He has finished the job.
Finished. So it is money that is in the pocket that we are now saying these guys helped to share to the states and local governments. How did we get there? Have we been using them
before
to share our federation account allocation, the monthly one? Do we need?
But the truth is that somebody contacted them.
And so who is the person that contacted them? So that is where we need.
No matter how high.
You see, the thing is, I think that is where the EFCC should step in.
Because
we need to know.
Before Mr. President ordered the payment, I'm sure he would have ordered his own investigation, done his investigation.
Nobody is saying that there wasn't an agreement. We are questioning the basis, the rationale for that agreement. Because if
maybe when you look at the money, when you look at the figure, that's
okay,
when
there is somebody. That's why I said, see, the AGF was quite right, saying justice must be served. Because if these people have done this work, they should be paid. But in the first instance, were they needed for that work?
For that work.
And when you look at all our government agencies and all the rest, with the number of workers that we have.
So what are they doing? What are they doing? The money is there in the bag. The money is already there in the bag. It's just to share the money. So that's why
it may be difficult to explain to understand this thing.
Or when they brought the money, were there some clauses that says if you want to share the money, something has to be done. So somebody needs to explain.
I have Ololade from Ilorin. Thank you for joining us, Lolade.
I'm Ololade from Ilorin, Kwara State.
Yes, thank you.
On the issue of the Paris Club, what I just want to appeal to the concerned people is that transparency is the main important issue in this country. Whenever there is money like this, you always see controversy here and there. To me, it's out of shamelessness. People are not, they are not being shameful at all. So I would advise that at the highest order like that, there must be decorum when there is issue like this. Not fighting all the time on the pages of newspaper on issue of how to share money. The other source of concern, we are not always worried. But when it comes to the issue of money, you see people scrambling for one thing or the other. But whatever, whoever is going to be giving, either governor or whoever, they must be seen to have used that money in a transparent form. Because at times, most of this money that are being refunded, given to us, about charge this and that, the way it will go, it's not always very pleasant to people. They cannot even explain that this is what it's being used for, precisely. So what I'm saying in essence is that transparency is what is that concerns most of us. They must be transparent in spending that money, and there must be decorum in their behavior when the issue of money comes up. That's just my concern.
Thank you for your contribution.
Because it's just what we are calling for. Okay, a case is in court. You have done it to a certain level. The governors have gone to the Supreme Court, and then you want to pay. All the judgments that had been given had been appealed by the state government. Ordinarily, it was the federal government that was taken to court. The federal government should also have appealed. If you are not interested really in filtering away the country's resources, then I think those judgments should have been. It shouldn't even be the states.
Exactly.
Because the states were not joined in all of those cases. It was straight issue between the federal government and these companies and individuals. So, what was the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation doing? Not challenging it, but going ahead to pay. Even when the states have now said, and local governments have now said, see, we have something against this. We are heading, and they have challenged it. The cases are in court, even up to the Supreme Court. Why are we in a hurry? That's why, you see, the closing statements by the NGF, I like it. And if you permit me, let me just take the last two paragraphs. It says we call on the general public to be alert and vigilant. The debt relief granted to Nigeria by the Paris Club in 2015 was meant to enable her to have a respite and use the resources saved for meaningful development. It was not for distribution to private persons to fund their luxurious lives. Neither can Nigeria justify her borrowing funds all over the world to fund capital projects and turn around to disburse state resources to individuals in a manner that offends public sensibilities.
Exactly.
So let me read the last paragraph. We all do those appointed at gatekeepers to our laws to ensure that the laws of our land are respected and protected. Let professionalism, reasonable caution, and due diligence prevail on this matter, please. That's what we are looking for. That's why, you see, it is not so much about
if we have contacted these people, we must pay them.
At this point,
no matter how difficult
we must. But we are now saying, see,
did they do the job?
Going forward,
it's Ayo.
It's not about doing the job. It's saying, see, this thing is more of what Nigerians are saying now. It's not the legalists.
They're looking at the amount involved.
What are we paying these people for?
All right, I have John from Abuja.
That is the problem.
That's the problem.
Thank you for joining us, John.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just want to contribute.
Go ahead.
John.
In Nigeria, it is ineptitude.
John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you. Are you with me?
Go ahead, please.
Yes. I want to contribute to this topic we are talking about, you are discussing right now. It is the ineptitude attitude of the both government at the state level and the federal level that is giving room for consultancy. If we want to talk about the amount of money, yes, it's too much, we all know, but something gave room for them to go into that very act. what is the functionaries at the state level and state government, at the federal level, what are they doing? We just collect salary. Nobody is doing anything tangible. Yet, a lot of opportunities are looming in the air, and nobody is tapping them. The consultants, if there is no manipulation in what they have done, they should be paid their money.
Exactly.
But if we observe any manipulation there, they should not only stop the money, they should be prosecuted.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. And
he has made the point succinctly.
Yes, exactly.
yeah, I'm sure it's an ongoing thing.
Yes, if there is a problem, if they are justified, we will pay them. But the basic questions a lot of Nigerians are asking is, did we in the first place need them? Somebody, one man traveled all over the world and got this debt relief, and they gave the money to us. To share it, we are now using about 30 people, and they are collecting percentages from this money. It's a shame. Like I said, we have civil servants who go to work, who claim to go to work from morning till evening, doing nothing.
Carrying
files from one table to the other. You find 4 accountants.
So are you saying that those ones cannot
do anything? They can't do small calculation and say, this is what you want to do.
We'll still be on it.